I want to make an introduction video about my journey to South America, who I am, and about my dog. And it's a pretty big undertaking to go to South America from Canada, across the states, down through Mexico, and it all really started with tree planting. Before I was actually even before then, I guess. Before tree planting, I was a chef. I was cooking for 14 years in the restaurant industry, and I got to this dream job, or what I thought was going to be my dream job, this fancy Japanese fine dining place. I've been working really hard to get there, and I finally got there, and I spent a year there, and it was probably the worst time of my life. The guy wasn't a very nice chef, and I just had a whole bunch of things happening. I wasn't really leading the best life either. I was drinking a lot, smoking 3 packs of cigarettes. I was 300 pounds. I was doing drugs. So I quit, and I decided that I was going to go to university. And I did a year university, and to pay that off, I found tree planting. And so I went and did my first season, and it challenged me in a way that I'd never been challenged. You're in the bush, you're away from the city, you're away from all your comforts, no computer, no cell phone service, no anything. Like, you're living in a tent on a camping mat with 50 other people, and the bugs and the rain and the mosquitoes and black flies. But it showed me a few things that I didn't really know about myself. And one of them, first being, I really like physical activity. I love the outdoors. And it also showed me how little I needed to be happy. I didn't need anything. I was happy just to be out there, right? I didn't need computer games or whatever it was. I didn't really need anything. So after I was done my first season of tree planting, I had two other bonuses. First, it's seasonal, so I had 6 months, 8 months before it came up again, of free time that I didn't know what I was going to do. And second, I just had a lot of money. I never had that much money. You make it in such a short period of time, and you're not really near anything, so you can't really spend it. So I decided I was going to go traveling. This was the first time I went traveling outside of Canada. So I decided I was going to go to India. I was reading this guide from the Broke Backpacker. It said you could travel the world for $10 a day. And I read that guide every single night. And so one of the things that he said is India is one of the hardest places to go backpacking for various reasons. So I thought, trial by fire, if I can go here and I can do well, then I could pretty much go anywhere in the world. So I went to India. I thought about walking and hitchhiking and doing all that, but I realized that I wasn't going to get to see as much as I wanted to, and I didn't really want to spend that much money on travel stuff. So I decided to buy a bike. I bought a Scott Subcross 40. It's like a hybrid bike. And I just had like a 60-liter backpack. And I strapped that thing to the back of the bike, and for 6 months I traveled by bicycle.
Look at the clouds. It looks so sweet. Oh yeah.
Man, is it beautiful.
I did 5,000 kilometers, and I had the most amazing time of my life. I mean, that's its own story, but it really opened my eyes to a lot of things. So I said, I'm going to keep doing this. This is what I really want to do. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go back to cooking. I want to travel the world. And so after India, during India, I decided that, I'm going to go back to Canada, and I'm going to bike across Canada. I've never really taken the time to see a lot of Canada. So after that, I went tree planting again. I bought myself a Surly ECR, and I got a dog. Her name's Makoto, and that's a Japanese honorific meaning Lord or Highness for spirits and gods. And if you see her...
While I was playing with the camera, so starved for attention. Why'd you do that? What did you do?
Her eyes, you can tell why. And also, she's a princess. If I'm a peasant and she's a princess, then I'd call her Her Highness. So I decided to do Canada in the winter. I figured the further east I go, the snowier it gets. I probably have to deal with about 900 kilometers of this. Oh, look at you in your coat. On my tent. Voila, look at that. A little bit of groundwork. Yeah. Every day it's almost been snowing, so I feel like I'm just battling the snow all the time. Look at that. I almost lost my bike. I almost didn't know where it was. If I did it in the wintertime, just like India, you know, that's a really difficult thing to do. -40, -30 weather. It's always cold. You got to worry about your water, all that kind of stuff. So I figured if you haven't really lived unless you've eaten a can of frozen mussels with mayo on the side of the road. I could do India and Canada during the winter, then there isn't much else I can't do. You know what I mean? So these were my two trials. And while I was going across Canada, I decided that, you know, I want to do something further and longer. Not that these two trips weren't intense, they were, but I wanted something more. So I thought maybe I could go across the states, down through Mexico to the southern point of South America. So that's what I'm going to do at the end of November, which was yesterday. So I'm still waiting on some things, some tires. I was waiting on a camera lens and just like a few other things that I wanted to do. So I really like photography and videography. So hopefully I can make some cool videos and take some cool pictures, but also I want to portray the rawness of bike packing or bike touring, whatever it is. It's going to be a little bit of both. There's some bike packing places and things that I want to do, and then there's going to be some road travel too, of course. But I really want to live my life on the bicycle, and I want to cycle the world with my dog. So hopefully I can answer some questions about you know, bringing a dog, you know, what it's like to go on a journey like this, and how, you know, how to make it happen. Because I find that there's a lot of people that want to do something similar, maybe not as grand, but it's scary to do something like this. So hopefully I can send out some inspiration and motivation for anyone who's kind of on the fence or doesn't know how to start or doesn't know what to do, you know. And hopefully everybody enjoys the journey that I'm about to go on.